Thanks very much, and I really can't believe we're back here again, where I'm having to raise the issue of Monkstown Boxing Club being refused access to their room. And I do want to say congratulations to the lads, Sean and Jack, for their performance over the weekend, and also to Jake Rappel and Carol Coughlin, who came so close in the semi-finals. But it's just outrageous. They turned up this morning to do kind of post-competition session in their room, and it's locked with a padlock. You know, and no rooms get locked up there with a padlock. That doesn't happen. It's also reported to me, and if it is true, it would be extremely worrying that this is a fire exit as well. And that would be a serious problem. But it's just not on. I don't know what the reasons for this is, but we cannot have a situation where a manager of a facility that the council is running owns and is responsible for ultimately is just carrying on like this. And I mean, to me, that is a deliberate provocation. If there is an issue, it can be sorted out face to face. It does not. You don't go and padlock the door. And this is the room into their room that was agreed in a mediation. The lads went in to a mediation before Christmas in good faith. There are recommendations that came out of that. The recommendations were sent to them on the 5th of January. And that a trial period would start from January to for 3 months. Whether that has actually started yet or not, but they're working on the basis of this, and this should be available, and it should not be padlocked. And to me, it's just a deliberate provocation of people. It's a deliberate disrespect for a club that does so much good work for the community, and everybody here recognises the work they do. I don't have to tell you, and I'm not blaming the council for this, but I do think that Therese has done great work trying to get this moving forward and trying to get the two groups talking to each other. But it has to be the case that these lads have access to their room on a full-time basis, as was recommended in the mediation report. So I hope that, I'm not sure if there's anybody here to answer this, but I hope that we can.
You just say your piece. I'll deal with that.
Thanks, Dennis. But I'm sure people will support the club as they have before, and that we can send congratulations, and that we can find a way that this is not going to happen to them in future. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Halpin. I will now bring in Therese Langan, who I understand is going to deal with the matter and maybe give us some insight into what has happened. Therese, are you there?
Hi, and thanks, Dennis, for that. Yes, and as Melisa said, you know, we engaged in a really in-depth mediation, which resulted in a report from Peter Hines that was circulated, as Melisa said, to all parties in January. The council has set up, in order to deliver on those commitments, the council has set up weekly meetings facilitated by myself to happen on a Monday. This issue happened, and the first I became aware of it, went into the press. And I think the impression was that the whole facility was closed, but and the Councillor Halpin has clarified that actually wasn't the case. I'm meeting the boxing club tomorrow. I'm involved in trying to sort this issue out, and I give you my full commitment that I'm dealing with this as a matter of priority. There is an issue, I have to say, and I'll say it now because I'm sure there are people, with the online booking system. And that's really important that that's used, because we have to know who's in the building and who's not in the building, and we need that for fire safety, health and safety, for evacuation procedures, for public liability insurance, and whether or not a group have this facility full time. They still have to. Everybody has to use the booking system for everybody's safety, and I think that is one of the issues that we will have to line out. It's a very easy booking system to use, but absolutely essential that we know who's in the building all of the time, because sometimes I'm not talking about it in this case. But sometimes in cases, the building mightn't be occupied, even though it's been booked. And we have to have that information if we have to carry out any type of evacuation. And this is really important for the council's protection. And I think that's one of the issues that we have to iron out as well. But I'm fully committed, and Sandra Kelly as well is working with me in getting, the optimum solution as outlined in Peter's report delivered as quickly as possible. And I've demonstrated that commitment by, I was up there today at 4, but and that was no fault. I talked to Paulie, but because we were having a meeting tomorrow, nobody turned up. But we did meet last week, and we are trying to agree for all parties a dignity, and I have a draft and respect policy that everybody, including the council, the boxing club, the management, the board, commits to try and inform future relationships and behaviours on all sides going forward, because this is what we want this to be. We really want this is a fabulous facility, and we really want it to work out for everybody. And just to say as well, I suppose we're still working very hard on and Owen O'Brien is working on this, on delivering, a standalone facility for the boxing club, and that is being run in parallel with this process. But there is going to be a time, there's going to be, 18 months that we all have to kind of live with each other.
Okay. Is that it, Trace?
That's it. Sorry, Dennis. Thank you.
Can you confirm, Trace, my memory serves me right, that there was a report to come back to the HEPI meeting, I think, in February. Was that correct? Of your deliverance up there?
Oh, right. Okay. Well, no, I'm happy to bring back a report to the HEPI meeting. I can't remember that, but if that's what you want, I will bring. I will bring. So that will be back from 4 weeks' time. So yeah, no, that's fine. But just to say, that the report has been produced, has been circulated, it's totally transparent. Everybody knows what's in the report. And I hope it works for all parties.
Okay. Well, members, you've got it there. There's a meeting tomorrow. Trace has outlined.
Yeah.
She's giving it top priority. Relationships need to be established. I'm going to allow the ward councillors to, if they want to make a contribution, as briefly, because I want to move on with the agenda, but that has been pretty well clarified, and I'll come back to Melisa. Councillor Moylan.
Thanks, Cllr, and to Councillor Halpin, thanks for putting the motion down. I saw this breaking on Twitter after replying to Paulie earlier on, congratulating them on their success over the weekend, and then looked at Twitter about 20 minutes after sending the email. So, look, the sentiment across the council executive and from Trace Langan and her team seems similar to our sentiment here, and indeed that is going across Twitter and social media and everything else. I think at the first point, absolutely, we should be congratulating Sean and Jack for their fantastic achievement over the weekend. I appreciate Trace Langan's intervention in this. I do look forward to it being resolved, and I'm delighted you mentioned the Part 8 in the boxing hall. I think it's really important that we get that moving on, but we are going to have to live with each other for the next few months. So I just would like that the outcome of this results in an easier time for the club to get access to the facilities and be able to train and continue their success. Thank you.